This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Coffee-fueled stories. Hello. It's me, Coffee Fitness Unicorn, your pocket DJ, and you're listening to Coffee Chats Podcast, a show where storytelling and coffee hang out. Welcome to February Fables. This month will be a sharing of stories from Scotland, possibly Ireland, and other magical realms. What and why fables, you ask? Let's start with what. A fable is usually a story with a moral told through animals, inanimate objects, or mythological creatures. Their origin is Mesopotamian, and most notably, quote, fables became a favorite resource for storytelling, as cited from, and I apologize for slaughtering this, actualidadliteratura.com. Today, I'd like to share a story or a fable about a mythical creature and her magical drink. This one is called Coffee Landed Me in the Hospital. So when I was in undergrad, I was, 36 to 38. And so clearly I was an older student and I needed a lot of coffee to help me get through my English studies. And this was in my senior year. So I was getting ready to go into my senior year. So this is finals for junior year. So it's the end of the year. And I am, I'm stressed out. It's things are crazy. I had a super crazy schedule. I actually I was carrying 20 units at the time. And the reason for that was because, like I said, I was older and I wanted to get my undergrad done in 2 years. So in order for me to do that, I needed to do 18 units one semester, 20 units another semester, or 21 units, which would have been insane. And then try to get through the rest of my senior year with a somewhat decent schedule of, say, 12 to 15 units. So I front-loaded my schedule and I made sure that I could take it easier for my senior year. And so I had a super crazy schedule and I was living at home with my parents. And I lived up in the little loft. My parents had a really cute condo by the beach. And I stayed up in this little open loft area and I had, my really cool setup. And so I could kind of like peek over and look out and see my mom, drinking her tea on the patio. And so it was a really good place to study in, and it just felt good. And it felt safe because obviously I was, at home with my family. So I told my mom, I said, all right, Mom, I'm getting ready to go study for finals. So I'm kind of going to disappear for probably a full week. And I'm just going to eat on my own. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to be on my own schedule. So she was like, that's fine. You just go ahead and take care of you and we support you. So I got myself 3 venti lattes from, yes, Starbucks, because I needed 3 venti lattes to get through this particular night of studies. And it was a linguist class and I think a theater class. So it was theater. It was called Performing Arts or Theater Arts for Future Teachers. And I wanted to be a professor. I wanted to get my master's so that I could go on to teach literature or English at the university level. And part of your training is to take this theater class and linguistics. So these are the 2 classes that I remember the most because I'll just hang on to that. So those 2 classes, let's just hang on to that thought. So I'm studying, I've got all my homework and I'm prepared. I've got my theater lesson down. I understand everything, and we're supposed to get videotaped for our final is actually to be videotaped. We had to do a performance, so that was the theater class, and then I had my linguistics final. I'm studying, I'm drinking my coffee, I'm studying, I'm drinking my coffee, I'm studying, I'm drinking my coffee. Finally, I decide to go to sleep. It's probably around, I don't know, midnight. And I'm like, I feel pretty good. Everything's, in my brain. I'm like, okay, head, just keep all this knowledge inside and be ready to tackle the final at 8 a.m. the next day. So I go to bed feeling pretty good. Then I wake up with the most excruciating pain I've ever felt in my entire life. It is 4 a.m. in the morning, and I literally feel like I have been stabbed with a very long knife continuously. It's just this constant jabbing, stabbing, horrible pain. Like I said, I've never felt anything like this in my entire life. So I finally decide to go downstairs, and they're the curly little stairs. It's those little iron stairs. So I'm trying not to fall off the stairs at 4 o'clock in the morning in excruciating pain. And I don't want to scare the shit out of my mom because it is the middle of the night, but I do need to wake her up and let her know what's going on. So I quietly walk in there and I, wake my mom up ever so gently. But I say these words: Mom, I think we need to go to the emergency room now. So my mom, who usually takes 15 minutes to like acknowledge her eyelids to actually open up, she literally sat straight up. I've never seen her move so fast in my entire life. And she was like, get dressed, get in the car. Because luckily we literally lived around the corner from the hospital. So, and that was sheer luck as well. So there we are, 4 o'clock in the morning. The rest is kind of a blur. Obviously, I'm an emergency. They kind of don't know what's going on. So I kind of have to wait a little bit, and the last thing I want to do is terrify my poor mother. And because, we don't know what's going on. And so, they hooked me up to some IV and fluids, and the pain is getting worse, and I'm like, I really need to go pee, you guys. And so I have to take my little IV thing into the bathroom with me, and I'm just, like I said, I'm just dying in pain. And they're contemplating, they're like, we don't know what to do, we can't find anything wrong with you, and they're doing these tests and things. And my cousin and my aunt show up, and all I keep thinking is, shit, I have finals in the morning. Like, this is not how I want to be spending the night before my finals. So, again, I'm, working with the doctors. They're asking me all kinds of questions, and, they're like, are you sure you're not pregnant? I'm like, I most definitely am not pregnant. Like, I'll just never forget, like, them, are you sure you're not pregnant? Maybe it's just really bad cramps. And I'm like, it's not, I'm not pregnant. It's not cramps. Just do something. I'm like, are you sure it's not like my appendix burst or something? Like, I'm like, you people are the experts here. Like, what is going on? And they're like, did you drink a lot of beer? And I'm like, no, I don't drink beer. I was studying for finals. I had 3 venti lattes, and here I am 4 hours later, dying and in excruciating pain. So, long story short, I missed my finals because I was in the emergency room. So I'm emailing photos of my ID band, my IV, like, I'm all hooked up. I'm emailing my professors, and I was like, every doctor that I saw, I'm like, I'm going to need a doctor's note. I'm going to need a doctor's note because my professors are probably not going to buy the fact that I'm in the emergency room right now. So I need every single person in this hospital and this room to give me a doctor's note. So, and I was messaging like some classmates, and I was like, hey, I emailed the professor, but I'm also emailing you to let you know I'm in the hospital, and I don't know when I'm going to get released. So I was there for quite some time, needless to say. So it's now, past 8 o'clock in the morning. My regular GP comes in and he says, yeah, come on over. Let's see what's going on. So luckily he's also right down the street. And so I go see him and he's like, I think there might be something wrong with your kidney. It's like, I'm gonna send you to the specialist. But he's like, I don't really, my GP is like, I'm not the kidney specialist. So I'm gonna send you to the kidney specialist. So luckily, he's also right down the street. Like, so it's kind of like this little X. So I felt like we started in one corner, we crossed the street, like we went diagonal, hit one spot, then we went up, and then we hit another spot, and then we hit another spot. So by the time it was all said and done, we made like an X. So there it is the next morning. And again, I'm missing all my finals. I have missed every single final that day because I am with doctors and specialists. So we go to the kidney specialist, and I will never forget this guy. He literally he asked he goes, "Hey, come here, feel this," to my mom. And so my mom like pokes on my back, and he's like, "You know what that is?" My mom's her back. He's like, "No, that's her kidney. It's really swollen and expanded, and that's bad." I'm like, "You think?" Because I'm still in pain here. So he's like, "Well, you sure you don't drink beer?" I'm like, "I don't drink beer. I don't drink beer at all." And he's like, we're gonna need to do some tests on you. So, and then he says, "You know what though?" He's like, I'm kind of an old school guy. I would like you to see my friend, and she's the new school." And he said, he's like, "I think I know what's wrong. I think you have a defective broken kidney or ureter. So basically you have your kidney and then you have the little straw that goes into your bladder." And he's like, "Your little straw has a kink in it. So what's happening is it's backing up your kidney. Your kidney is exploding. And that's what's causing such pain." And I was like, thank God somebody was able to tell me what the hell is going on. So now that I know what's wrong, he's like, we have to test for it to make sure that, that's what he thinks, but he needs to confirm this theory. And he said, I'd rather you go to her, because if we have to fix this, he's like, if this is an actual problem, he's like, I'm going to take a 6-inch scar, half a rib, and you're going to take 6 months to heal. He's like, but if you go see my friend and my colleague, she does this robot assisted surgery, and she literally will stick 6 holes in you. They won't take a rib, and you'll be back to normal in 6 weeks. And I was like, door number 2, please. So he sends us off to her. I'm not able to see her that day, but luckily we know what's going on. We have the theory, and we have a solution and a plan. So needless to say, I missed all my finals that day, and now I have my appointment to go see her and get this fixed. So the point of this February fable is the reason that coffee landed me in the hospital is because I had a defective / broken kidney that I didn't know about until I was 38, 37, right around there. And so the moral of the story is, don't drink 3 venti lattes if you have a defective kidney. So needless to say, I did get the surgery. I did get it taken care of. But the February fable and the point of this is your magical unicorn, Coffee Fitness unicorn, and her magical drink. This particular instance, it backfired. It backfired really bad, literally inside. What's kind of funny too is, so obviously the surgery went really well. I've had a brand new kidney. I had reconstructive kidney surgery. And I would have never imagined that drinking 3 venti lattes while I was studying for finals would have landed me in the hospital. And then part of that story is, once I did finally get to go see the new specialist who does the robot assisted surgery, she was like, yeah, okay, so so now it's the beginning of the year, so it's December, January timeframe. So by the time I get to see her, And she's like, so let's do this. You're a candidate, you pass all the tests, we can fix this, we can do this. So she's like, so how about we go ahead and, get you in like a month. And I was like, yeah, no, that's not going to work for me. I still have one more year of school. And she's like, excuse me. She's like, you don't want the surgery? I'm like, oh, no, no, I do want the surgery, but you have to do the surgery after I graduate or after I finish school. And so she was like, is for real? Like, she literally, the doctor like didn't believe that I didn't want to have this surgery that clearly I needed until after I finished school. She was like, so will you promise that you will get the surgery? I'm like, oh, I'm in. Don't get me wrong, I'm in, but you have to do the surgery after I finish the like my courses. And so throughout the year, we're still on target. She's still checking with me, and so like it's April, June, September, and she's like, we're still doing the surgery in December, right? And I was like, yes, we are scheduled. So check this out, you guys. I finished my my semester in December. I think it was December 16th or something like that. I literally had my surgery 2 days later. And I went back to school and I finished out my course in 4 weeks. I went back to school. I had to drive myself to school with a pillow in my seatbelt because I was still healing from my surgery, and I was driving myself back to school. And so the professors that I missed the finals, obviously I made up the finals. I was able to make up the finals because clearly I had a medical reason. And so the coolest thing was going into my professors and lifting my shirt and showing them my puncture wounds from where the rods went in for the robot assisted surgery. And I was like, check this out, you guys. I was like, look, check it out. And my one professor's like, yeah, I kind of didn't need to see that. And I was like, but I'm letting you know, like this was for real. Like I was born with a defective kidney, but we didn't know because I don't drink beer. And the one kidney specialist before I saw the robot assist one, he was like, if you were a beer drinker, we would have figured this out a long time ago. And so it's a very common problem that they actually can find in utero now, which is crazy. So I I had no idea. So like I said, I'm 38, and we figured out that I was born with this defective kidney issue, and they can actually do the surgery. I want to say they can actually do the surgery. Can they do the surgery? I know they can find out if you have it in utero, but I don't think they can actually do the surgery in utero. That would be weird. But anyway, nonetheless, so it was, and he actually said it was a good thing that they didn't find this problem out until the robot assisted, because he said if I had this, if they had found this problem when I was a child, they would have done the 12-inch scar, taken half a rib, and I would have taken 6 months to a year to heal. So he said, it's a good thing you aren't a beer drinker. And so I said, well, it's a good thing I'm a coffee drinker. He's just like, yeah, just you might want to ease up on the coffee a little bit when you get ready to, do your studies and your finals. And he's like, you might want to do, a coffee every 4 hours and not pound 3 venti coffees in 4 hours. So again, moral of the story is don't drink 3 venti lattes with a defective kidney. So that is my February fable of how coffee landed me in the hospital. I hope you've enjoyed this story, and I look forward to sharing the next stories with you from the next guests coming for the rest of the month. I thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. If you enjoy these stories, I'm going to ask that you please, please, please share them with your friends and family. Please leave a review. And also, please, please, please subscribe so that you don't miss any of these stories. But mostly, I would love you to go forth and be magical.